Hi, welcome to the secret ingredient of healing. We are working on balancing the root chakra. I'm Christina, and today we're going to talk about the foundations, both in the garden. We are starting some starter plants and also our own energy systems. The root chakra isn't just our foundation. It's our sense of safety in the world. Think about it. A plant cannot grow consistently, being uprooted, threatened. Similarly, we cannot truly heal or evolve if we don't feel safe in our bodies and our environments. Many of us have lived with persistent sense of unsafe weather from childhood experiences, financial instability, relationship insecurity. The constant vigilance keeps our root chakra in a state of contraction rather than stability. And if you feel unsafe, I want to acknowledge that and take a moment to sit with you with the sadness that accompanies the situations in our lives that cause us to feel unsafe. A good example is my dog, who likes to go with me to the mall or to the park. He'll jump in the car and then he will get out of the car and then he will get under the car. And under the car is not exactly safe. Sometimes when we feel unsafe, we might choose to comfort ourselves with unsafe mechanisms, such as watching a lot of TV and comforting ourselves, having a few extra glasses of wine, a couple of extra snacks during the day to comfort us. A small little thing that I like to incorporate in my life is my safety socks. I like to bring my safety socks with me to the office, and if I'm having a bad day, sometimes I will just take off my shoes and put on my safety socks. It's a small, intentional way of allowing myself to acknowledge that I am not feeling safe. A lot of times people like to get a weighted blanket. I've seen hoodies, little sweatsuits that are weighted and soft and cozy, super plush. We can intentionally take steps to feel safe. When we raise our conscious awareness of our safety, it allows us to be more in touch with our actual situations. It strengthens us slowly, not overnight, but our inner man becomes strengthened and we start to become more aware and more in tune with situations that are causing us to feel unsafe. Notice how I have wood around my plants, small protected area with barriers, not harsh winds and predators that can uproot my little plants when I get them started. And this is the same first step in healing. Our root chakra is creating conditions of safety. Before we can even begin the work of deep healing, we must ask ourselves, where do I feel safe? What environments and which people during what activities do I feel nervous? Truly settled and identifying and deliberately creating these spaces for safety isn't just self-indulgence. It's the prerequisite for healing. I want to show you something important about gardening and healing. So the fence here is going to be a protection so that my plants won't get eaten or trampled or frozen. I wanted to plant a couple of weeks ago, but we still had more snow coming. And so all we have is the seeds and the dirt. I have some shelter so that I could add shade when they need it, sun when they need it. And it's just the same with us. And our root chakra, creating boundaries serves exactly the same function. Protection that allows growth. Some plants need extra protection when they're just starting. In the same way, parts of ourselves that have been wounded or neglected need special care and protection during the healing. This might mean setting firmer boundaries with people who drain your energy, creating daily rituals that signal safety to your nervous system, carefully choosing environments that support rather than challenge your sense of safety, giving yourself permission to step back from overwhelming situations. Notice how I have these plants here, and they are just the little beginning of seeds. But in order to these delicate seeds to grow, they need to be nourished. And in our 30-day root chakra series, we are going to start with reclaiming ourselves, how safety actually feels in the body. And I want to be very clear, healing your root chakra isn't about focusing on yourself to feel safe when you don't. It's not about positive thinking your way out of legitimate concerns. And real safety is built gradually, thoughtfully, with deep respect for your own experiences. Just as this plant doesn't grow by being forced, your sense of safety cannot be rushed or demanded. Over these 30 days, we will be creating the conditions for safety that can naturally emerge. Sometimes in small moments at first, eventually more permanent state will develop. As we begin this journey together, I invite you to approach with both courage and gentleness. Notice where you already feel flickers of safety in your life. Those are seeds that we will be nurturing, and recognize the areas for safety feels distant. Therefore, there are patches in the garden that need our most tender attention. And remember that the goal isn't perfect safety in an imperfect world. Our goal is creating internal foundation sturdy enough to withstand life's inevitable changes. Just as in the garden, we face storms and drought, but we continue growing with proper care. Your sense of groundedness can become resilient, even in challenging times, in challenging situations, in challenging relationships. Visiting family, for example, can stir up feelings of unsafety. I recently booked a trip to go see my family, and I texted them saying that I would be arriving at a particular time, and I didn't hear back from anybody. And I felt a little off balance for a couple of days. I was a little spacey and airheaded. And as I was lying in bed at night, I realized that I was feeling unsafe. And it allowed me to incorporate that into our first step of balancing our root chakra. I have to begin at the beginning, which is identifying areas where our foundation needs similar attention before our healing journey can flourish. I am excited that you're going to join me to the root chakra. We're going to be doing some balancing techniques, and I think that we will find a growth that occurs that stimulates healing. I appreciate you being with me here today. Oh yeah, I have a juice. This is actually not a juice. This is hibiscus ginger, green tea blended together. And I chose hibiscus today for my beginning of the root chakra series because it is so nourishing to the body, so hydrating. And as I'm going to be working on a lot of these plants are plants that I use in my juice. So I'm excited to see how planting the garden is going to be. When you look at your life and you look at yourself, it's amazing when we make the discovery that we realize we can benefit from some real healing. And as a trauma coach, I'm here to coach you through this process, and I hope you join me. I am appreciating you being here so much, and I'm looking forward to this journey with you. Thanks. The sun, the water, get these precious little seeds put to bed.